We can tell you where. I know where. Not sure.
Okay, good morning. We'll call the governance committee meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is to accept the minutes from the November 20th, 24 meeting. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? No.
Aye.
The minutes are accepted. At this time, we'll open the meeting to public comment. If there's anyone who'd like to address the governance committee, they have 5 minutes. We just ask that you identify yourself with your name and address. So we'll open that section of the meeting now. Don't see anyone at this point that wants to address the governance committee, so we'll close public comment. Next item on the agenda is a review, discussion, recommendation of a resolution authorizing a leaseback transaction to facilitate the acquisition, renovation, and equipping of the property and building located at 400 Riverside Drive in the village of Johnson City to be used as a mixed-use development consisting of 67 housing units equipped with fitness, gaming, and recreation centers with surveillance cameras, and key fob access, as well as a restaurant, gymnasium, and outdoor grilling area, which will be open to the public, and appointing Square Deal Partners LLC, the company agent of the agency for the purpose of acquiring, renovating, and equipping the project to provide for sales and use tax exemption benefit in an amount not to exceed $355,542. Provide for a mortgage tax exemption benefit in an amount not to exceed $119,000. Provide for a real property tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $4,710,710, including authorizing a payment in lieu of tax agreement deviating from the agency's uniform tax exemption policy, a copy of which is attached hereto as Exhibit A, and authorizing the execution and delivery of the certain documents with respect thereto.
Right, thank you, Chairman. The purpose of this application today would be for the governance to consider a recommendation for approval of the said benefit for Riverside Gardens, which as outlined is a planned revitalization, redevelopment of the former Davis College in the village of Johnson City into a mixed-use community, including apartments and multiple amenity spaces. A public hearing was held on December 10th in the village of Johnson City. A copy of the transcript has been provided to you. Really no significant project dynamics have changed on this. It is roughly a $15.2 million investment. It is considered deviated only because in years 3 and 4, if you look at the pilot schedule, we actually reduced the abatement percentage to ensure that the payments never went below current tax, because we never allow for the payments to go below current tax. So that does officially make it a deviation from the standard pilot schedule. But as you can see, a great benefit to the village. This property will be back on the tax rolls as a result of this project. I do have Dave Drew, project lead, and Eddie Pizzino, also project partner on this, if you had any questions directly for.
And I just wanted to add that the employment costs were updated.
Oh, based on minimum wage.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, that was something that was a result of last month's meeting. Thank you, Dan Crocker, pointing that out.
What's your anticipated date to start?
Ideally, February.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think
March, April.
Wow, so you're ready to go?
Yeah, we're ready to go. We're expecting really good news this week, so here and elsewhere. So yeah,
Okay.
looking forward to getting started.
Excellent. Okay.
It's like an exciting project.
Oh, it is. It's been exciting. For the last year, it's been exciting every day.
I'm sure.
I'd imagine.
Are there any questions or comments for Stacy or the developers?
Can't wait to see it start.
Is there a motion?
I'll move it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is a review, discussion, recommendation of a resolution accepting an application from 1020 VPE LLC and authorizing a New York State and local sales and use tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $56,400. The term not to exceed 12 months, consistent with the policies of the agency in connection with the construction and equipping of a 3,500 plus square foot addition to the building located at 1020 Vestal Parkway East in the town of Vestal. To house an open MRI ZapX radio surgical machine X-ray together with an elevator for the use of patients.
Yes, so we actually have 2 applications related to this facility from Dr. Sethi. Dr. Sethi recently opened up a practice, the neurosciences group on the Vestal Parkway, towards Endicott there, if you're familiar with an old building that Lourdes Hospital, I think, once owned. We have previously supported a sales tax exemption program for Dr. Sethi for the initial fit out. The request on this application is for the continued growth, expansion and fit out of that building, as was noted, to house a state-of-the-art open MRI, ZapX radio surgical machine, X-ray, and all of the necessary fit out that is required of that. Total project costs are roughly $955,000, leading to an exemption at 8% of $56,400 for this project.
Jesse, are they actually performing brain surgery in that building?
I think they still have I don't know this for sure, but my understanding is they still have a relationship with the hospitals to do, that they're not doing anything in
Like,
that.
are they gonna put this machine at the hospital or in their?
In there, no, this will go on the Parkway.
The Zapex will actually perform brain surgery. It's non-invasive brain surgery.
Thank you.
And that scarecrow.
How do you do non-invasive brain surgery?
Right.
Probably do lasers or something. So we basically have two applications, one for the build out and then one for
One
the
for a
actual
piece of
machine.
equipment, yeah, and we felt it more prudent just to separate those out,
Okay.
in two applications.
Okay, so is there, so now we're talking about the first,
Fit out.
the build out. Is there any questions or comments at this time on that particular part of the project?
I noticed on the labor report, they have, and it doesn't matter because there's nobody available locally, but they have Syracuse and Rochester contractors listed under the local labor report, and they should be on the non-local, but it doesn't matter.
Specialty service.
It's elevator and FF&E.
Stuff that we don't.
Yeah,
We don't-
right, so it doesn't matter.
That's good to keep an eye.
Okay.
Dan. Okay, is there a motion to approve?
I just want to make sure I don't have a conflict. Is it Dr. Sethi on the phone?
Dr. Sethi, is that you?
His wife? Ramina?
No, this is his wife.
I just wanted to make, I work for M&T, as you know, and from time to time we do business together. Is M&T involved in this particular project?
No, they are not.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, really excellent.
I can vote.
Uh,
Well, as a board member, it's excellent. As a banker, not
As
excellent.
I'm sitting here right now, Dan.
For a minute, you're happy.
Any additional questions or comments at this time? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion is approved. Next item on the agenda is kind of a partner to this one. Review, discussion, recommendation of a resolution accepting an application from NSSGP LLC for New York and local sales and use tax exemption in amount not to exceed $148,000 for a term not to exceed 1 year, consistent with the policies of the agency, connection with the acquisition and installation of a ZAPX advanced robotic radiosurgical machine for the treatment of brain tumors to be located at 1020 Vestal Parkway East in the town of Vestal, and authorizing the agency to set and conduct a public hearing with respect thereto.
Okay, all right, again, this is part two of Dr. Sethi's project at the Neurosciences Group facility on the Vestal Parkway. The request is for the exemption, really essentially just the acquisition of the advanced robotic radiosurgical machine for the, now we've learned, non-intrusive treatment of brain tumors. This installation is the first in New York State and 30th in the world. So this is some exciting work happening here in our community. Total project costs are 1.85 million, and of that, the eligible exemption is $148,000 for our small business incentive program.
And Stacy, I just want to point out, this will come forward next month because the exemption's over 100,000. We do have to have a public hearing.
Sure.
So this is your basically accepting and allowing us to
Yeah,
set
the
that public hearing. And then next month, you actually approve the.
Okay.
Thank you, Nat.
It's amazing. This is gonna be the only one in New York State.
I know, I didn't realize that was actual like. treatment
And then
of it, that it was
one of
imaging.
30 in the country or the world. What is it? What's it, one of 30 in?
He said in the world.
It's outlined in the. world
Yeah,
in the
you have one, so
application.
it's only one in New York State and then one of 30 in the world. There's hope for all of us here now.
That's good stuff.
To get checked out.
If you have a brain tumor.
Is there any questions or discussion? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is a review, discussion, recommendation of a resolution authorizing the executive director on behalf of the agency to enter into a 6-month option agreement for the sale of 162 Enwell Street in Johnson City for a purchase price of $45,000.
Yes, so recommendation by the committee today will ultimately go to the board, but enable us to enter into an option agreement for the purchase of 162 Endwell Street. That is land owned by the IDA behind the plaza that holds UHS childcare, the Greek house, a pediatrician's office. It's roughly a 3-acre parcel. Last month, the board okayed the discussion on the option and approved the discussion on the option, and we're recommending a 6-month option at a non-refundable payment of $5,000 towards the ultimate purchase price of $45,000.
Do they want an option too? Or was that, do we initiate the option on this?
They did.
They want the
They
option.
came to us with the proposal to construct a pickleball.
All right, but they want,
Recreation facility.
but they want a 6-month option. I thought they're not ready to out and out
It
purchase.
just provides them time to do some
Okay.
additional due diligence, yeah,
Okay,
which we didn't see as an issue.
yeah, right, you know. Any questions or comments on this one?
No.
Is there a motion?
I'll move it.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Next item, review, discussion, recommendation of a resolution authorizing the executive director on behalf of the agency to enter into an agreement of the sale with Old Dominion Freight Line for the sale of 129 Carlin Road in the town of Conklin for a purchase price of $26,000 per acre, and to undertake any and all actions necessary to convey title in accordance with the terms of the agreement of sale.
Okay, so this is an exciting development that has been in progress for over a year now. When I first approached you all with a proposal from a Montante Development Group, which was the group that's representing ultimately Freight Line for the potential purchase of 129, what was then 129 and 159 Carlin Road, land owned by the IDA since roughly 2017. At that time, we began the process of rezoning that parcel. If you're familiar with the Broome Corporate Parkway, the Broome Corporate Park Drive, and Carlin Road run perpendicular to each other, and the front of Carlin Road is zoned industrial or economic development district, which is what is essentially everything in the corporate park is zoned as. But the backside, roughly 75% of the lot was zoned as residential. So at that point in time, we worked with Supervisor Bill Dumian and the town planning board and the town board to rezone that as that whole parcel is now economic development district. And we combined the parcels, so there's now just 129 Carlin Road. It's roughly, it's just shy of 20-acre parcel. Across from it is a small FedEx operation, and again, it's perpendicular to Broome Corporate Park Drive, where a number of businesses are located. The company has gone through the necessary site plan approvals and processes with the town. Old Dominion Freight Line is a national freight forwarding company that is seeking to purchase this property from us was noted at $26,000 per acre to build a 32 to 35,000 square feet cross dock facility. And they expect to create approximately 50 jobs as a result of this project.
Is that our last parcel there?
We have we have 2, 6 and 36 Broome Corporate Park. That's about a 10-acre site that we do actively market. That's on the opposite side. It's actually as you're just turning into the corporate park, it's there. There is a privately owned 8-acre parcel that is still there. And we have some land here and there, but most of it is too challenging with wetlands and floodplain issues that, so we wouldn't consider that part of the developable land. And we have a small frontage in front of the county's solar farm there of maybe 8 to 10 acres there as well. But that's it. So this will take really the last sort of sizable parcel that we currently own, but we'll still have a few parcels left. Yeah.
Any questions or discussion? Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations on that. I know you've been working on this for a long time.
Thank you.
Good
Yes, it's a
job.
nice project for the corporate park. It works well with the highway access there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is a review, discussion, recommendation of a resolution accepting an application from Skate Estate of Vestal LLC. And authorizing a New York State local sales and use tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $37,360. For a term not to exceed 12 months, consistent with the policies of the agency. In connection with the renovation, modernization and equipping of the property and building located at 3401 Vestal Road. And the property located at 3360 Vestal Road in the town of Vestal.
Okay, so this proposal comes to us from the ownership group of Skate Estates, which is I believe Justin Marchuska. Our provision for our sales tax exemption does allow us to provide this benefit to projects that support recreation or tourism assets in the community. We have similarly provided a sales tax agreement to entities such as the old the Vestal, I'm drawing a blank, the bowling alley that they had. What is it? Midway, thank you, that added all of the go-karts and things like that, to increase their, revenue and make that a destination location for the community. So similarly, this is the plan with the ownership of Skate Estate to do some modernization and upgrades, to increase activity at that location. The total project cost is roughly $582,000. Of which the 8% sales tax exemption would be valued at $37,360.
Any questions?
Some demo for the water going.
Yeah, I think they took that water slide down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That should be fun.
Justin is on the line if you need it. Yeah.
Oh, Justin's.
Are
on.
they,
I am here, yes.
Justin, there was a miniature golf course there too, wasn't there?
There was, we've removed the miniature golf thus far and we've paved that area. But we plan to repave the entire parking lot, install a new roof membrane, replace the carpeting, the ceiling. We removed the water slide. We're gonna remove, there's a small storage area on the back of the building. New exterior lighting, new interior lighting, bathroom upgrades. So it's going to be an extensive renovation to bring the building into the year 2024, or 2025 soon to be.
Yeah, good. Yeah, there's a lot of potential for that, for Skate Estate, so.
You only have two permanent or full-time employees?
Yes, we have a manager and a assistant manager. That's correct. And then we also have quite a few part-time employees.
Okay, any additional questions? Is there a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then last item on the agenda is a review, discussion, recommendation of a resolution accepting an application from Sun Development Team LLC, the company for a leaseback transaction to facilitate the financing of the renovation, equipping of the property and building located at 214 Main Street in the village of Johnson City, to provide for a sales and use tax exemption benefit in an amount not to exceed $20,000, to provide for a real property tax exemption deviating from the agency's uniform tax exemption policy in an amount not to exceed $122,616, and authorizing the agency to set and conduct a public hearing with respect thereto.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. So today, this is the introduction of a new application for consideration for a pilot sales tax and no mortgage recording tax, but pilot and sales tax exemption program. We have Dave Whalen, part owner of Sun Development Team LLC here today. This project is part of the Village of Johnson City DRI community as well. The project aims to revitalize this site, which many of you may recall was the former site of the Health Beat natural food store in the Village of Johnson City along Main Street. by providing modern residential and commercial spaces with a historically significant setting. The pilot is considered deviated again, only because in those years where we may see a dip in the current tax, we reduce that abatement. The first two operating years would be abated at 75%. So we always modify that where needed. The project involves renovation of 7,200 square feet, a two-story mixed-use building at 214 Main Street to accommodate commercial and residential uses. So it provides some additional apartments along Main Street in Johnson City. The first floor covers 3,600 square feet of commercial, and second floor consists of 3,600 square feet of residential space divided into 6 apartments. Renovations will include both interior and exterior improvements, and also upgraded space for 2 new commercial tenants. There's a note in your project application and description. The DRI grant award that was awarded to this project is reimbursement based upon the satisfactory project completion pledged to Tompkins Community Bank upon receipt. So technically not used in the financing model, but to secure financing. And that grant award was $450,000. As noted, these types of projects aren't necessarily job creation, but they serve a purpose of revitalization of our core urban assets. So there's a planned 1 direct job and benefit combined of $196,308 on an annual basis. I do have again Dave Whalen here. If anybody should have questions, I will note Dave has been a successful developer of mixed-use projects, owner of Binghamton Huts in the city of Binghamton, as well as another building, 265, which we have worked with Dave on that building, which houses Gabriella's Cakes and Cookies and apartments on the upper floor in the village. So, any questions?
Your heating contractor, is that, I assume Kevin Kennedy out of Windsor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's a, Kennedy HVAC out of Rochester, that's why.
Okay, yes, Kevin Kennedy.
Okay, now, this site is, on the National Register of Historic Places.
We're actually flushing that out right now. We're not sure if it's registered or just contributing to the historic district in the village. But we will be potentially applying for historic tax credits if the project is applicable, but we haven't made it too far along in that process.
Okay.
You have a commercial tenant in mind for the first floor?
We do there are potentially 2 commercial spaces. The way Healthbeat had it divided was about 2,000 square feet and 1,600 square feet of the grocery store on the left-hand side and for offices on the right. We may leave it divided like that. We do have a potential tenant for the smaller space. We think would be a great fit for the neighborhood, but I'm not really privy to say who that is at this point. They haven't signed a lease, but hopefully that works out. So potentially 2 commercial spaces, if we found someone to take the entire space, if that didn't work out, we'd be open to that as well.
Did Healthpeak move or did they just close?
They retired. It
Oh,
was about
okay.
40 years. They wanted to retire.
Nice
So
old
building
yeah.
it. That's how I happened upon this. Another customer there.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
And again, just a reminder, the purpose of today would be to enable us to set the public hearing date sometime in January.
Are there any additional questions? Is there a motion?
I'll move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion is carried. Any other business at this point? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Is there a second?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned.
Goodness.